I found this Gyros kebab spice mix in Tesco for 40p, but can it be any good? Well, in this video I'm going to put it to the test while showing you how to prepare it, barbecue it, and serve it up. Have I found a hidden gem or just wasted 40p? It's a Saturday morning and my wife tells me she's hungry, so sends me down to Tesco to find something. What do I find but these 40p kebab gyros spice mixes in the world food section. My favourite gyros is made using chicken thighs, so I head to the chicken aisle, see what I can find. My choices are either 600 gram for £5.50 or 1 kilogram for £6.95. Being slightly better value, I go for that one. Back home and my chicken thrown on the counter like I'm angry with it, it's time to prepare these supposedly healthier and happier thighs, whatever that means. For me, these chickens don't look happy or healthy because they're dead. But undeterred, I crack on and put them in a mixing bowl. And I try to figure out how much of this spice to put in. Unfortunately for me, the instructions on the back of these packets is in a language I'm unfamiliar with. So I think to myself, flavour equals good, and shove all 3 packets in. Stick around to find out if that was a good idea. I put on my one black glove because I don't want my hands to smell of gyros all day, and I like doing Michael Jackson impressions. Then give it a mix. After a minute or so, this is not mixing as well as I should like, so I grab myself some sesame seed oil and pour it in to loosen everything up a little bit. Sometimes with a little bit of lubrication on your meat, everything goes a little bit smoother. With all the seasoning mixed into my satisfaction, it's time to take them away and pop them in the fridge. I myself only have about 3 hours to let them marinate, but it was a productive 3 hours. I even mowed the lawn. It's now about 2 hours before I actually want to eat this meal, so I take them out of the fridge and start setting up my kebab. Unfortunately, my rotisserie broke, but this metal skewer that came with it is going to come in very handy. First, I'm going to fish out the largest chunk of thigh that I can find and push the spike right through the center. If you don't have one of these spikes, you can just use sort of like regular kebab spikes, maybe 2 or 3 of them. Just use whatever you got lying around. Sometimes you just got to improvise, adapt, and overcome. Not sure if that saying's from the Scouts or the SAS or something like that. Anyway, grab your second chicken thigh and put it on at a 90-degree angle to your first chicken thigh, and you're going to continue this pattern. Every other chicken thigh is going to be the other way. Yeah, you know what I mean. And once you are all out of thighs, you should be left with a nice little meat tower. I should probably emphasize at this point, it's really important to do this with chicken thighs, not chicken breast. Chicken breast will just dry out. As always in barbecue, we're going to be cooking to temperature, not time. And to ensure I'm able to do that, I'm going to use my Ninja Pro Cook internal thermometer. Amazon link in the description if you want one yourself. And then onto the barbecue, I'm going to be using my Traeger pellet smoker and set it to 180 degrees Celsius. You don't have to cook it in a pellet smoker, of course. You can do it in any barbecue that has a lid. All you need to do is set it up for indirect cooking and then get the temperature to around 180 degrees. And then you play the waiting game. After about 1 hour 15 minutes, my probe is telling me that it is 74 degrees internal. So I give it a check. Now don't worry about those other chicken thighs on there, they're not for you. I use my trusty handheld thermometer for a second opinion, and it's telling me it's only at around 66-67 degrees. This is probably because my Ninja probe must be not exactly in the center of the meat, so it's not in the coldest part. This is always a risk with thermometers, so it's always important to get a second opinion. I give it another 15 minutes and then come back to check again. This can be one of the most frustrating things about barbecue. Food is ready when it's ready, but this is not an area in which to cut corners. Late food is better than poisonous food. Fortunately for me, this is now at 74 degrees, so perfectly ready to eat. Don't worry if you've overshot this a little bit, chicken thigh is very forgiving, you can take it up sort of 85 and it'll be fine. Now this is a meal for my wife, remember, and last time I presented her with just meat on a stick, she threw a wine glass at me, so I better make something for it all to go in. So to start things off, I'm going to cook these 4 flatbreads that I got from Tesco's for £1.85, shove them on a tray and sprinkle a little bit of water over, and then put them in the oven for about 2 minutes. Then I will dice up 1 red onion, looks more purple to me, but we are where we are, and it gives a welcome crunch. Just realised I said diced, not sliced. Well, of course I mean sliced. Anyway, my questionable voiceover skills to one side, we're now going to introduce some vine-ripened tomatoes that we are going to slice up to add a nice bit of colour and acidity. And watching this back, it looks like I'm somehow trying to hide the tomato from you, the viewer. With my tomato slicing capabilities successfully concealed from the internet, I'm going to put these in a jar to one side, because now it's time to slice the meat. And slicing into a kebab like this is one of the most visually appealing things you can do in barbecue. That fantastic cross section which shows the penetration of the marinade, the smoke ring and the juiciness of the meat is just an absolute pleasure to watch. And once you've finished slicing this up in roughly 1 centimeter slices, you're left with a full bowl full of tender, juicy, deliciously seasoned chicken gyros kebab. So now we're ready to build up our flatbreads and find out if this 40-piece sachet is really any good, or has it completely ruined some much more expensive chicken thigh. So to build my classic Greek-style gyros like I had on holiday when I went there, I'm going to start with a flatbread, a good helping of tzatziki, some crisp red onions, 2 slices of fresh tomato, some chips that I had going in the actor fryer, and then load up with that, hopefully, delicious chicken gyros. A couple of things to admit at this point. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly. It could be gyros or gyros or gyros or something different. If you know, let me know in the comments. And secondly, I've been referring to the chicken itself as chicken gyros. I don't know if it becomes chicken gyros when you put it in a flatbread or if it's chicken gyros due to the flavourings, not a clue. But with my confessions out of the way and my soul cleansed, you're wanting to know, is this any good? Well, you shouldn't put 3 sachets in, it was way too salty. But otherwise the flavour was okay. See you next time.